Alright. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight. But then
Yo! Yes, sir. It's official. Like a referee with a whistle. Like, share the video, and all that good stuff, man. And hey, we're going to do like we always do. We're going to talk that talk, and we're going to go out and make it happen. But that's what we do over here, man. We go out and make it happen. Hey, Donna, what's up? It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Hey, New York City is a wide open and popping. Yeah, it's been a while, man. Things are starting to really open back up. And I'm back outside. I'm back outside, man. Hey, I ain't been overseas yet, but I'm back outside. It's gonna be some time before I go back overseas because I ain't got the jab yet. I ain't got the jab, so they're still restricting us being overseas. Going overseas, I should say. I ain't got that jab. I ain't got that card. I ain't down with that. Yeah, of course I miss you. Yeah, I'm not taking that jab, man. Nah, no. But I've been across the country. I've been around the country, but yeah, you can go to Mexico, but on the way back, you got to take that PCR test. You know what I'm saying? So, but a lot of these other countries, man, you got to have that card, man. See, I haven't got no card, so it is what it is. Am I joining the passport bros? I've been a passport bro before they started saying it. I've been a passport bro like 20 years ago before it became a thing. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, let them guys do their thing or whatever. But I've been traveling for, I don't know, 25 years now? Nah, I ain't with that jab. Nah, that's not my thing. You know what I'm saying? And now, people had to take it. They had to do what they had to do. Yeah, I get it. But don't be trying to make me feel bad because I don't want to do it. And that's the problem I have with a lot of people. They'll make it seem like, oh, you didn't take it, so they'll try to shame you and make you feel bad. Nah, chill with that. I don't like that. Don't try to make me feel bad because I didn't want to do something that you didn't want to do. I don't like when people do that. But yeah, people are gonna be who they're gonna be. But hey, like, share the video, and don't forget to check out the Patreon. I'm gonna have Dr. Kaci supposed to be coming on, in a couple minutes. I'm gonna talk to her. I haven't talked to her in a long time, couple months now. Said I wear masks and keep distance so far as working for me. Yeah, me too. You know, I don't I try not to go around large crowds of people. Um I did go to a damn game room one time. This was like a couple months ago and I got sick. God damn it. I actually was volunteering for kids and I caught that shit, man. Damn. I knew I caught it. Because by the time I got back home, I started feeling bad. But besides that, me volunteering for kids, I guess that's what I get, I guess. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It was in good, you know, I had good intentions, but hey man, shit happens. But I haven't been to any concerts, any clubs, um, any medical establishments, any place where I just go to the store, I go to work, you know, stuff like that. But I haven't been in any place where it's thousands of people there, you know. Now anything outside, I would go. You know what I'm saying? But that's not my type of party anyway. That's not, I don't go to concerts and I don't really do stuff like that no more. But, you know, I'm a pretty simple guy. I already done all that shit. I think probably the most crowded place I've been on is a plane recently when I flew to Denver. But besides that, nah, I haven't really you know been to in the hotel or whatever. But the hotel is just the hotel and the plane is kind of like you know it is what it is. you know but you can't live in fear, man. You just gotta do the best you can, take care of yourself as best as possible, and try to be eat the best food as possible. You know, take control of your health. You know what I'm saying? That's the best you can really do, really. But that shit ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. It's not like it's gonna fall off and and people won't uh, catch it no more. Nah, that shit ain't going nowhere. It's kind of like the flu. The flu never went nowhere. The flu's still around. So it's the same old, same old. You know what I'm saying? You know, just like HIV, these shits ain't going nowhere. You know, so you got to just take precautions and watch who you hang around with and watch who you lay around with. That's what it really boils down to, really. You know what I'm saying? But I would say if you depended on somebody else to take care of your health or look out for you, that's probably not a good idea. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust a lot of these doctors in the medical field. So, and I have my own doctors that don't work in the medical field that I talk to, or I can reach out and, you know, at least send an email. But they don't like talking on the phone like that for, obvious reasons. But, you know, I can at least send them an email though, you know, or we talking code sometime. You have to talk in code sometime, you know.
I had
Hey,
sent you a message, but clearly you didn't get it. But I'm not that
no,
late.
no, my computer, I can't log in on this computer, and my other computer is still updating, so it's all good, you know.
Still updating.
Yeah, it's still updating, man. I
How
haven't
you
used
doing?
it in like a month, so I
Oh,
haven't been getting no updates, you know. So how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
That's good. Hey, you still living? Hey.
Hey, hey, the way things be going, that right there is an accomplishment.
Yeah, tell me about it, man. You know, last time, when was the last time you came on? That was like what, 6 months ago?
Man, it's been a while.
Yeah, I think the last time. Wait a minute. It was,
It may have been in like May.
yeah, yeah, because I think when you came on the last time, I had like I've been here for like 4 months. I was basically just getting settled. You
Yeah,
know.
it was in May.
Yeah. You know, and and I haven't since and I haven't talked to you since Kevin Samuels died.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think I have talked to you since Kevin
No.
Samuels passed.
No.
I mean,
No.
I don't mean to sound excited, but
Yeah. Hey, that was. Hey, you got a lot of.
crazy, crazy because I think the last time we did talk, we talked about Kevin Samuels because he had been talking trash about women and his normal stuff. And I need to go back and listen to it again because I think that we had talked about, like, man, when you talk like that, it's not always good for your soul.
Well, no, it's not. A lot of time you need security.
Well, not just that, but your words will eventually come back to haunt you.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't wish death or harm on anyone.
Yeah.
However, how harshly you speak, those harsh words can double back.
Yeah. I think sometimes that's one reason why I don't call people's name out when I'm online
Mhm, mhm.
because I know some people take things too far.
Mhm.
So, you know, I'm like, look, shit ain't that serious to me. But I understand there's some people you can't talk about without somebody paying you a visit.
That too. I
Yeah.
mean, with his situation in particular, you never really know what actually happened. Whether it was really just a natural causes type of thing, or if he was really with somebody that was vindictive that did something, that kind of initiated his demise, or if some things had been playing out over time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just never know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't know him personally, so I don't know, I didn't know anybody that knew him either. So
Right.
I have no idea, you know. But some of this shit, look, I don't wish death or anything bad on the dead man. I don't talk about dead people. I don't,
Mhm.
that shit is tacky.
Mhm.
That, look, there's a lot of people that passed away. I'm not like the biggest fan that I knew personally or whatever. But once they're gone, I stop talking about them. You know,
Right.
that's it.
I mean, well, the truth is the truth, and um, I don't diminish or stop sharing whatever truth it may be, just because the person transitions, because you live by it, you gotta die by it, And when I say that, I mean, whatever impression you left on the world and the people that you encountered, that's what sticks. So even in my personal life, that's why I try to do more good than harm. That's why I try to, even with putting out my information and my content, so that I leave a mark on the world that's positive versus, if people experienced me in my teenage years when I was a hellraiser, that wouldn't be the last thing that they remember of me.
Yeah, exactly. Which
I definitely was a hellraiser.
yeah, I hear you. It's but they say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. You know,
Right.
and hopefully you might not start the way you would like, but hopefully you get a chance to make up, go back, and hopefully, a lot of times, a lot of people don't get a chance to do that.
No, I mean, I don't think that people leave a bad impression on everybody,
No, not
but
everybody.
if you leave a bad impression on enough people, then those are the things that people will talk about the most and remember the most. And it is very not just for that reason, like just for good karma and all of that. It is very important to try to leave a good impression on people.
Yeah, you know. Which brings me to the topic, because there's a lot of people that I don't talk to them anymore, and it's not. Some of it was my fault, but at the time I didn't think it was a big deal. And there's some people I met like 10, 15, 20 years ago. When I met them, I thought we was gonna be friends forever. Because like we did everything together, anything you could imagine, men and women, right? But I'm like, like this one friend in particular. I used to call him Big Dave, right? Because he always had my back. He was like my goon, basically, right? So, things kind of started going downhill when he met this woman, which is his wife now, right?
Hmm.
But at the time they was dating, and she never liked me. Like never. Like from day one. So I'm like, hey, what's the problem, man? I don't know her, It's like I'm like, okay.
Sometimes people be like that. Like if you have a certain type of influence on somebody and they would prefer to have it, then it will be like that. And you realize that sometimes the person realizes that once they disconnect from you, that something may be missing, but sometimes people don't have enough balls to stand up to the people that makes it hard for them to keep certain connections. I remember when I used to be married, it was certain guys that my ex-husband used to be like, "Well, why you still talking?" Like, these are my friends, like people I've never had sex with. Like, you
Yeah.
should be able to. So, what I said after I got divorced is, I will never in my life allow another man to stop me from being one of my like long-term friends, because like at the end of the day, if that marriage fails, those friendships shouldn't have to fall to.
Yeah, I'm like, but the weird thing is she would tolerate me though. And it's not like I was around them all the time. It was like I think by the time, because she was actually from Atlanta, right? And she transferred to Charlotte. So by the time she transferred up here, 6 months later, I moved to Atlanta. By the
Mhm.
time she moved to Charlotte, right? So every time I used to come to Charlotte to visit, I used to stop in, hey, how you doing, whatever, you know. So it's not like I spent a lot of time with them, But she used to basically all kind of tolerate me because like even when they used to come to Atlanta, they used to go to like comedy shows and concerts and all that stuff or whatever. And he used to always say, "Hey man, we in town, pull up or whatever, right?" So it's weird. She used to give me a hug and everything, but I knew she didn't like me. So I'm like, yo, this chick is weird, yo. And then he knew it. It's not like he didn't know. He knew that.
I mean, but see, the missing part is you don't know the stories that he told her. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? You don't know what type of things that he talked to her about in regards to y'all's relationship, your friendship, what y'all used to do together. Cause she might have felt like there was some type of a bad influence. Or, like when he gets around you, then he does things out of his norm based on, whatever his assumptions or whatever their conversations may have been.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't know, So I think he was working for the post office for like, I don't know, probably like 15 years. And he ended up getting hurt. His knee got messed up, right? So he missed a couple months of work. He had to have surgery and everything. And so when he went back to work, they harassed him so bad or whatever. So he ended up suing the post office, right? So I think I had a friend that was going through a similar thing, right? With the
Mm-hmm.
post office. So I asked him, so I said, "Hey, I got my man, he going he's going through the same thing, but his case is damn near closed." Right? So she was like, "Yo, I need an attorney." So I said, "Yo, I'll tell you what, I'll ask him what attorney he used," right? So I called him. I said, "Hey, what's your attorney that you using? Because I got a friend that's in a similar position as you." Oh, he said, "Okay, it's such and such or whatever," right? So I said, "All right, cool. I'll talk to you later," right? So about that was downhill from there. Probably um a month later, he calls me and was like, "Yo, man, I didn't like um the fact that you were calling, asking about my case, asking what about an attorney, whatever." So I was saying, well, what's wrong with that? I'm just trying to help a friend out. How that don't have anything to do with your case personally. And that's like, and I was like, it's not like I told anybody about your case.
Right.
So like, what's the deal? So he basically used that incident to cut me off, and I haven't heard from him since.
I mean, but they probably did that. That probably was good for you. You probably have no idea you know what I'm saying, what baggage came with that, because that sounds more less like him and more like her probably in his ear. Like, why would he? And like when you're married, um, depending on who you're married to, kind of determines how you handle things. So if it's something that would have been cool prior to, depending on how she is, she could have been one of those people. And I don't know these people, so I'm not saying that this is a definite thing.
Yeah,
But sometimes a lot of women are like, well, why would they? You know what I'm saying? You know how women be kind of catty. That does not stop with other women. That is just, if that's how the person is, then that's just who they are. So if she was tolerating you, then that was probably like one of those "I told you so" type of things. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. So
So, but just it's been reported that the rapper Coolio passed away. Sometime.
goddamn, how old is Julio?
I'm not sure.
50s, late 50s.
Probably.
Damn, what the hell's going on, man? These entertainers, shit.
I mean, I think that life life happens. Depending on what you got going on in your life, it's a lot of different things that can contribute to your death. Um,
Yep.
whether it is people that's vaccinated or unvaccinated, whether it's COVID or other health issues, you know, death is the one thing in life that nobody gets away from.
Nope. Guaranteed to happen. We just don't know when. But damn, a
Yeah,
lot of people,
R.I.P. to Coolio.
yeah, a lot of people can't make it to 60, man. God damn.
That's why it be a milestone when people make it shit to 40. I'll be 40 in a couple months. That's a milestone because I know a lot of people that didn't make it to 40.
Yeah. It's like I know a lot of people I went to high school with, they've been gone.
Yeah, I was talking today to a gentleman who was like, I think he was like 18 or 19, and he was just asking, he hadn't finished high school and, all of that. And he was like, how do you get back into that stratosphere? Like, what should I do with myself? And I just started trying to give him advice or whatever. And I just kind of told him the gist of my story and how, I know a lot of people that are in jail, but I also know more people that are not here. So the thing is longevity. The goal is to keep yourself out of the streets in a way so that you won't either be in jail or end up not here. Like longevity is the key.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is nobody nobody told me this shit when I was younger that like most of the people that I used to hang with in the 20s, I don't even see half these people. I don't even know if they're dead or alive. I don't know where they're at. They a lot of them, because some people, as you get older, some people kind of fall off.
Hmm.
Some people kind of go their separate ways. Some people die. Um, some people just start doing their own thing. You only have like a small percentage of people that's going to be around 20, 25 years later, you know.
And that's why a lot of people don't plan beyond their 30s. A lot of times older people be thinking like, well, you don't know what you want to do in the next 5 years, because a lot of people are not sure if they're going to be alive in the next 5 years, so they don't even set goals because the people that they grew up with or knew have all passed. Some of them with goals.
Yeah, a lot of people are like that. I've heard a lot of people say, man, the odds were against them making it to 25.
Hmm.
So, it's probably the toughest situation I've ever dealt with. I'm still dealing with, like when people leave, or especially all of a sudden, you know, it's like, God damn, I was just talking to him last week.
Hmm.
And then you got your relatives passing away. I'm like, oh shit, you know. And people come and ask me like from time to time, hey, how do you deal with your parents gone, your grandparents gone? Because my parents and my grandparents on both sides, they're all gone. And people say, how do you deal with all that? I'm still dealing with it. I
I
don't
mean,
think there's
yeah,
a I don't think there's a one way of dealing with it.
grief is kind of eternal, unless you find a way to take that hurt and transition it into a purpose, and you start living out things that you know that they would be proud of, or things that once you've accomplished, you can dedicate portions of your life and things to those people. Other than that, shit, it's really a more of a avoidance of, thinking of them into depression, because a lot of times people think about stuff so much that they can't function, and that makes them sick. So, it's really not avoiding the thinking about it, but two things. Um, Thinking about the better things, involving like the happy times, the lessons and stuff like that, but then not thinking about it so much so in the sadness, so to where you can't function. Like you start drinking too much or start smoking too much or doing other drugs, trying to cope. And that's really the thing. Grief is forever. It's just how you use that grief to empower you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I was depressed for like 8 months. And I didn't even realize until after the fact when my mom died, because my dad passed away first. And it's kind of like when my dad passed away, I was like, oh, okay, it's not so bad. I got one parent left. And then when my mom passed away like 2 years later, I said, oh shit. And I kind of it is, and it's really hard to explain to somebody that haven't had their parents or the people they're close to pass away, because it's kind of like you like I know some people that haven't had anybody pass away in their family or people close to them. So you get into I got into a space where I just wasn't motivated to do anything. I stopped doing videos. I stopped. I was like, I just stayed in the bed for like what, probably 3 or 4 months. I just got up when I wanted to get up. I didn't really want to talk to nobody. I didn't really want to be around nobody. And it happens all of a sudden. It's not like you like drift off, and all of a sudden, slowly but surely, fall into a sunken place. Nah, with me, it's like after the funeral, 2 days later, it was like I was kind of out of it. It kind of like in denial.
That's kind of how it was when my father passed. My father passed in 2017. Like after I had sepsis, I was still kind of active online. Like I was a little less active because I was, healing and like going through my own little health issue. But after my dad passed, I really just kind of stopped posting as much on Instagram. Like I would do it, but not really into it. Like it was a lot. Now when it comes to like my mom is still alive. But me and my mother has never been close. So I always feel bad for people who have very close relationships with their mom because I always be thinking like, man, I don't even know how I would feel because me and my mother has never been close. I mean, like she literally tried to kill me. So, I just don't know. Like, I don't know how other people would deal with it. For me, it's gonna be normal because I hadn't talked to my mom for at one point. I hadn't talked to her in like 5, 6 years. You know what I'm saying? So it would be just an extension of one of those bouts of not talking to my mom. Kind of the same with my dad, but with my dad, I knew that I could call him. Like he lived in the same house all my life. He had the same furniture all my life, the same carpet. Like he still had shag rugs, like I got a crushed velvet furniture in my house but that's how consistent he was. I knew that I could depend on him. I don't care what was going on. After I got to a certain age, I knew that no matter what, my dad would always be there for me. It didn't matter what happened. And honestly, that's what it was the hardest part to deal with because even though we didn't talk all day, every day, and we wasn't the closest, especially once I moved away, which I hadn't lived in Ohio since I was 17 and went to the army. But just knowing that the one person that I knew no matter what happened, I could depend on. Like I knew if I called him, he's gonna pick up. That person not being there, it really did change a lot for me. That's when my life really started to change. And it's no amount of money or anything like that could ever fix it. And I was left some things or whatever, but it's still, like some days I just be wanting to talk to my dad, like, but when I think about my mom, on the other hand, like when I was really sick and I was like, like I would call her and try to like reach out to her. She is not like what a mother should be. So it's just like one of those, like, okay. But last year, my mother like cousin passed away and that was pretty difficult. But when I am faced with somebody's death, I normally, the way my brain functions, I have is not my memory isn't as good as it used to be, but the way I process things is I kinda go through every memory that I have with a person, like the earliest memory to the last memory, and I just think about all of those things. I kinda process the lessons, the things that we've been through, and just thinking about everything, like, it kind of it's like a clears the catch in my brain.
Yeah, because it. I got to that point once. I remember a talk that I had with my parents, and it was like by this time they were like, I think my mom was 75 and my dad was like 82, and it was like, hey, you need to stop depending on people to do things because hey, we ain't gonna be here forever, right?
Mm.
And by this time, I'm just getting out of the Navy. And it was like, I said, yeah, that's true. But the thing is, in my family, people live so long, it's kind of like I wasn't really I never had to deal with anybody dying because my grandmother lived to be 102. My grandfather lived to be 95. My grandmother's sister just died 2 weeks ago. She was 99, and she was the last one. You know, so I didn't really have to deal with. I think my uncle died like 10 years ago or whatever, but that wasn't like a surprise because he was an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm.
know, so it's kind of like, but I didn't really get it until I had that talk with them, and they said, "Hey, there's probably some stuff you don't like uh, as far as family goals and everything." But they said the good news is, "Hey, you can have your own family one day,
Mm-hmm.
and take what
Build
we
it away. Mm-hmm.
gave you, and you can change it and make it better." That's the good news. But they say you got to get out of the habit of like putting things off or whatever. But I didn't get it then. But once they passed away,
It
I
made
was like,
sense.
yeah, I was like, I gotta stop fucking around, because I used to be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it next week. I'm like, man, it might not be a next week.
And sometimes it takes for death to happen for it to be a realization that, you know, life is always evolving, but it can end at any moment. I know it took for the more that um especially because of the type of work that I do and the type of people that I used to intermingle with online, the more people started passing away, it was like, okay, now I can't be sitting on content. Like I need to be putting something out there because I don't want to pass away and then my children are left with all of this content that I didn't create and all this stuff. And now they feel tasked or burdened to try to fulfill the things that I was supposed to do.
Yeah,
That's what really made me really start like, okay, let's stop playing around. Let's put this content out.
yeah. And then something else happened when I think after my mom passed. It's a girl. It's a woman that I knew passed too. This shit made the news too, which was crazy. She It was a guy. It was a police chase. They were chasing this car here in Charlotte at the time, and the guy I think ran into her, and she hit a pole, and they said she died.
Instantly.
Yeah. So now, of course, I mean I wasn't here. I was in Atlanta at the time, but I got the call, and I'm like, what? And this is a good example of me putting things off because I had chances of getting to know her. I mean, we talked on the phone a couple times. We went to class. We graduated at ECPI and everything or whatever. But she always used to call, hey, we need to get up. We need to meet up. We need to plan something. But I kept putting it off. I'm like, yeah, I get with you, whatever. And then when I found out she died, I said,
Yeah. You
damn.
missed it. And the crazy thing is like for myself, my belief system, especially when tragic things happen like that, is that I believe that in them is something that's telling them not to go a certain place at a certain time because I just don't think that God would not warn you before you get into something like that to help you not do it. But you know, sometimes we be feeling forced to do things like, man, I got to, even when you don't feel like it. So I'll be feeling like whenever I don't feel like I should do something, it be, like, okay, I really shouldn't do it for good reasons sometimes. And sometimes we beat ourselves up about not doing things, but some things maybe you shouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? You never know what you're being protected from.
Yeah, you never know, man. There's certain things I didn't do, or certain places I didn't go, and something ended up happening there, and I was like, oh shit, I was supposed to be there, and something just tell me, I listen to my instincts. It's never failed me, and something told me don't go, and a lot of times, if I'm not feeling it, if it's something like if I feel some type of something ain't right, or I listen to my instincts. It's never failed me. Like every time I went against my instincts, I
That's
got
when you fail.
burned 99.99% time, which is crazy.
But that's hard for people because sometimes um outside influences will tell you not to listen to that voice, you know what I'm saying? Like don't trust yourself and all that, especially like religion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it is profound. Most people will admit that when they listen to their inner voice, it really leads them, in the right place, especially if you fine tune that listening because sometimes you your inner voice be on that bullshit if you hadn't, like if you give in to enough foolishness, then you won't know if it's gonna be good or bad. But if you listen to and follow the first voice, then most times it will protect.
Yeah, that's true, man. But hey, you got a new book out, right?
I actually have 5 books that are now oh no, is it 5?
You got a new book out
Um,
since the last we talked. That
So,
came out, right?
all of my books were available on my personal website, but I have put out all 6 of my books are now available for purchase on Barnes and Noble has them and Apple Books. All of my audiobooks are on Apple Books, and then all of the journals are on Amazon. So yeah, Faith, the Faith series is Faith 101, Faith 201, 301, and 401. It's kind of like a class almost, especially if you get the journal with it. Um, because the workbook actually makes you kind of answer questions about yourself and your own beliefs as you're listening to the book. And then spiritual human behavior is out mainstream, and that is similar to how the faith books work, but with the it's more of a journal that goes with that instead of a workbook. And that just helps you kind of understand yourself and walks you through the phases of understanding who you are. And then the last book is The Unknown Power of a New Believer. And it's really just about, when you first start believing in God, before people try to put their religion on you, before they try to put their failures on you, you are really a powerful person because you are fresh in God. You're open to God more than people's opinions. So that's what that book is about. And then of course, my first baby is available and has always been available um on all platforms. That was my first book. It's an autobiography written in third person with different names because I didn't want none of my family members to sue me. And I did get those threats. So yeah.
No tell-all books.
I mean, it's not really a tell-all book.
No.
It just tells the things that I've gone through from my perspective. So I remember when I first wrote it and put it out, one of my older cousins got it, and she was like, "Well, I don't like that you didn't talk about this or you didn't mention this person in a way that I think." And I was like, the book is not a tell-all. It's not about them. It's about how I became who I am, how the things that I've gone through, the things that grew me, the things that I seen, the environment that shaped me. And a lot of people, you know how people are. Everybody got something to say, but ain't nobody doing shit.
Yeah. I write your book. Shit.
Right. Yeah. You tell your story the way you want to tell your story. This is my story. This is what I seen. This is from my eyes, from
Shit.
my experience.
you know? Yeah, man. But how long did it take? I listen to a lot of your podcast. It's always funny. There's
Listen, I
a
listen
lot
to
of
it.
truth.
Whenever I listen to it, I always be like, damn, I really needed to hear that. That was pretty good. Like, damn, I'm kind of smart.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of truth, but it's always funny at the same time.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy it.
yeah, I don't
I'm up to season 14. I think season 15 is going to be a kind of a recap, and I'm going to take like two videos from every season preceding and just give out some of the best ones because some people are not going to go back and listen to all 14 seasons. But I did reach 1 million views on Vimeo, so I'm really excited about that. Now we got to get them YouTubes up so we can get that YouTube money.
Yeah. Yeah, I just went over there 2 weeks ago for the first time. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do more uploads over there just to see what happens. I'm a little curious.
See, and I think my problem with over there is that I am not uploading it directly to YouTube. I
Oh,
am sharing it from Vimeo, and I don't think it gets the
oh,
same type of traction when you share it versus when you upload directly to YouTube. So, I almost wanted to take everything down from YouTube and then start uploading it again just so that it can get the views the way I want them to. But some of my content got like little songs in the front, like where I be in the car and I started out with something and then I start talking and then, they be flagging that. So it's like, can't win
yeah,
for losing over on YouTube.
yeah. They change the AI every, I don't know, 6 to 12 months on here, so you don't really know. You just don't really know.
What's gonna fly and what's not, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I'm happy with Vimeo. I was trying to do and wanting to do that Patreon for like the sexual related content. But I don't have enough patience, and I don't think I advertise enough to actually get people to subscribe, and that's my real problem. I don't re I even though I got 1 million views on Vimeo, I haven't advertised since, like, January or February. This is just me uploading and, like, whatever views come from consistent uploading.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I have Patreon, but I don't really put a lot into it. I usually do audios for the most part. I do a video from time to time only because I can do a audio real quick. A
Mhm.
video, it takes a little bit of time. I'm lazy sometimes, man. I'm like, man, because plus, like, if I want to do an audio real quick, like stream of conscious, I can do it like as soon as it's on my mind. Well, if
Mhm.
I gotta do a video, I gotta plug this in. I gotta, you know. So I'm like, by the time I'm done with all that, I
And
already,
you done forgot what you was gonna and
yeah,
see, you know what? Lately, I haven't been doing as many videos because, for the same reason, like, if I don't do it right then and right there, as soon as whatever it is crosses my mind, if I wait 10 minutes or something else come up, it's gone, it's out of there, and it's just,
yeah,
"Okay, well, so much for doing that."
exactly. You know. So any last words? I'm about to get off here. Ugh,
Yeah, you look like you getting a
I'm
little
tired.
tired.
Yeah.
No, just support if you would like to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Speaking Freedom. I am also on Fanbase. If you have not started a Fanbase account, go to Fanbase. Invest. The investment season is open again. Crowdfunding. Um, Always looking for investors. If you want other things to invest in, Black Bread Company, you can invest in that. I am an investor in the Black Bread Company, the only first and only black bread company ever. So just find good things to invest in. If minorities investments are your thing, then again, fan base and the black bread company, I invest in both of those. So if y'all invest and it could blow up, like when I'm invested and it blow up, I mean, I don't know how that. I mean, I guess you got to eventually sell some shares to actually get, but invest. We ain't talking about selling yet because 10 years from now it could be the next big thing, and you could be a millionaire.
Yeah. I try to play the long term game now. You know.
Yeah. Oh. Right now with the stocks, you ain't got no choice because everything is down.
Yeah.
About a year and a half ago, I was like, man, I got about 15,000 in here. I ain't even put that much in there. Now that thing is probably about 8, and I'm like, shit. Like, gotta hold on to it though, because if I sell now, I'm gonna take a loss.
Yeah. So there you have it. Like, share the video. Don't forget to check out the Love Can't Wait podcast. Until next time, we out. Peace.